This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
He has time.
He's got him. Side touch is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the free agent frenzy on Ken and Ken in the morning. Woo! What a day yesterday. What do you think, Ken? Packers were doing a lot of movement yesterday, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the exact moves I wanted, but I like them.
I mean, they didn't really do anything.
We got ourselves
Continue coaching Raiders players.
Hey. What can I say? It worked out great for us the last time, so we might as well double down on this shit.
And really a sad day for Raider Nation. Diablo is no longer a Raider. I was like, man.
I'm not. Diablo is not really the one I'm missing. I like, we lost Spillane. We lost basically all the free agents that I wanted to re-sign are all gone.
Morning, Broski. It was funny because, we had talked, they're probably to get Dahlman. That's like what the consensus is. And right out the gate, Dahlman's a Bear. Like, okay. I'll tell you what, there were some interesting moves yesterday. I mean, we got some quarterback movement. And they're still going, right? Daniel Jones is headed to the Colts. Will battle Anthony Richardson for the starting position. That literally just broke a few minutes ago. A 1-year, $14 million deal with the Colts. Jesus. Dolphins are bringing back Quentin Bell. The Texans landed safety Gardner Johnson, the Eagles, for O-lineman Kenyon Green today. Let me see. Defensive tackle Solomon Thomas. He is going to the depth. The Cowgirls. I guess they found money somewhere. The Bengals are brought back their cornerback, Marco Wilson. I mean, Jesus, there's so many. What's with Minnesota wanting to become the Indianapolis Colts, signing 2 linemen away from Indianapolis, right? Jesus. They picked up Will Fries and they picked up who's the other one they picked up? I'll get to him in sure. Jesus, I mean, there's so many signings. Where to go here? The Falcons got Diablo. Melanfanu left the toilet and went to the Dolphins up there. The Giants got Javon Holland on a 3-year deal. The Vikings got Jonathan Allen on a 3-year? Yep, 3-year, $60 million deal. The Saints, who have no cap money, somehow found cap money and restructured like 5 different deals. My God. Let me see. What else we got here? There's good, aren't there? Chauncey Golston is now a Giant. Hey, the Raiders signed someone, Eldon Roberts. A 1-year, $3 million deal. I mean, guys.
They also got the safety. They also got the safety from the Commanders. Chin.
Well, the Raiders got quarterback Johnny Johnson Jr. as well. Oh, Barry Bourne is now a Miami Dolphin. You're welcome, Miami. Thanks later for that. Kyle Juszczyk is being cut by the Niners, making George Kittle mad. The Vikings re-signed Brian Murphy. I mean, there's just deals Skipper is going back to the Lions for a year. I just want to move quickly. Chase Young, $57 million to stay with NOLA. Good signing by them. Yeah, the Seahawks, of course, after they trade Geno Smith, they go out and they get who? The Ginger Jesus.
I think they got a good deal for him.
It probably is a good deal for him. Good morning, Sarah. I'm sorry I didn't see. I'm going down the list here. Jake Hanson's going back to the Texans. Fields is now the new starting. Justin Fields is the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. Jeez. Greenlaw goes from the Niners, now a Bronco. And actually, we'll get to the other Broncos ones there. Hey, the Cowboys signed a running back, Javonte Williams. They got him from the Broncos. The Patriots signed Matt Collins away on 2 years, $8.4 million. That's not bad. Michael Gallup was visiting the Commanders. Darius Slayton is re-signing with the Giants. Every time you think that guy is going to leave, he just signs another contract. Malik Harrison is going to be a Steeler on a 2-year deal. Where are the good ones? There we go. Ryan Kelly goes to the Vikings on a 2-year, $18 million deal. Quezzy was cooking yesterday. He just raided the Indianapolis Colts. Lots of D-line guys. Zach Wilson is now a Dolphin to be a backup down there. That wasn't too bad. Cooper Kupp, big news there. If they can't get a trade by Wednesday, supposedly they are going to release him, and the Rams let that bidding war get ready to go. Charvarius Ward is now a Colt. Josh Dobbs is now a Patriot. Bubba Bolden is now a safety for the Vikings. I mean,
Morning,
I don't even down. Dude, this is just like still not close. Oh, here we go. Packers finally have the Packers there. Nate Hobbs, 4-year, $48 million contract.
Yeah, and then we also swiped Aaron Banks from the 49ers for a 4-year, $77 million.
Raiders re-signed Kuntz on a 1-year deal coming off injury, so a prove-it deal. That was actually pretty good. Brandon Stevens is going to the Jets. Dante Jackson is now a Charger. Patrick Jones II is now a Carolina Panther. They were busy. Hey, the Bengals, I don't know where they found money to take TJ Slanton away from the Green Bay Packers, but they did.
That's going to hurt the run defense. Slayton was damn good.
Jeremy Chin is now a Raider. Leaving the Redskins. San Francisco extended Patrick Taylor. Patrick Scott Banks and stole my thunder there. We got there. The big trade. The Houston Texans traded Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders in a big trade package that had a bunch of picks in it. That was a big one. The Giants got Roy Robertson. This is kind of an interesting one. The Falcons released the defensive tackle Grady Jarrett, and 10 minutes later, the Bears gave him a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. I mean, he was a free agent a full whopping 10 minutes after getting cut. I wonder if that meant they talked to him at some point before. That was a pretty big negotiating round. Or they just call and say, hey, we'll give you what you had left in your contract. Who knows? The Jags got Patrick McCarry. The Bills added a wide receiver for a 3-year deal. They got Josh Palmer from the Chargers.
The Denver Broncos got Talanoa Hufanga.
I didn't get there yet.
I like Hufanga.
Down the list. The Bears got defensive end Odion Bengo from another Colt leaving Indianapolis. The Panthers, got a former Raider, Trevion Mooring, on a 3-year deal. The Jaguars tight end Luke Farrell is now a Niner, which is interesting. I wonder if that means Kittle's on his way out. Josh Sweat went to the Cardinals. Now we're getting the earlier one. Hufunga. Yeah, to the Broncos, right? I mean, oof. Let me see. Fields, I covered Fields already. Jags got a couple tight ends. Nick Mullins is also a Jag. Darnold the Seahawks. Milton Williams, the Patriots. I mean, we're 10 minutes in the show, and I'm still going down the list. I didn't even give you guys all of them. I'm skipping some of the really, tiny, smaller ones.
I get a phone call. I'll be back in a bit. Okay.
Yep. Chiefs got Elijah Mitchell off the Niners. Morgan Moses is now a Patriot. All the Lions did make a signing. They got DJ Reed. Yay. The Vikings got Isaiah Roberts to play corner. Hey, the Chargers re-signed their punter. Rejoice.
That's the move that I was the most impressed with out of all of this. I was really worried if it was going to happen.
Yeah, Carlton Davis III left the Lions to go to the Patriots. Left tackle Dan Moore Jr. is now a Tennessee Titan. Wow, $82 million. Whew. Here we go. Adebo is now a Titan. Yeah,
You're cutting in and out again, Ken.
The Rams brought back UBT.
Still doing that.
The Rams brought back UBT.
Mm.
The Commanders have Mark Finlaw. The Eagles got PJ Hill. The Packers have absolutely zero.
It's still going on.
The Packers did absolutely. It's because I talked about the Packers. The Packers did nothing with Jair Alexander and somehow had to have a press release about it. The Cardinals re-signed their left guard Evan Brown to a big contract. Braxton Berrios left the Dolphins to go to the Texans. Woo! Okay, Drew Dahlman to the Bears. Another big one here. Chris Godwin, and we all called this. Stayed with Tampa Bay. Go figure. The Kansas City Chiefs somehow found $30 million to get Jalen Moore to play on their offensive line. Hassan Reddick, right out the gate, went to Tampa Bay. Day one we're 13 minutes. Okay, the Eagles got Mekhi Becton didn't go anywhere. I was surprised by that. Really surprised by that, actually. Ben Brenderson stays in Tampa Bay. They do a really good job in Tampa of keeping their free agents. Khalil Mack went back to the Chargers. The Colts kept right tackle Braden Smith, so basically the Bears and the Vikings couldn't steal him. Let me see. J.C. Horn became the highest paid defensive back in NFL history right before the frenzy started, agreeing to that contract in Carolina. I mean, so busy day.
In other football news, right on schedule, Xavier Worthy was arrested for domestic violence, and we're just throwing it out there. What is it with Chiefs wide receivers and beating women? I don't know, dude. Like, it's almost a prerequisite. You know what I mean? Like,
to be fair for Xavier Worthy, apparently,
I know he's not getting charged.
Yeah,
but he was still arrested. So
I'll tell you what. Thank you guys for bearing with me on that as I read through not even the full list of transactions from yesterday. I just because we're going to cherry pick the ones we like, stuff like that. But I mean, just to give people an idea of how much went on yesterday. That was not, with all that I just took over 10 minutes to read, was not even the whole list of transactions from yesterday. It was so crazy of a day. I passed out about 6 p.m. in my lazy boy because I was so tired of updates. I mean, I was worn. So you can imagine what these GMs had to feel like yesterday, because some of them came out the gate swinging, and you think, okay, they're done. Oh no, wait, hold my coffee. There's more. I mean, these guys had IVs of Mountain Dew and crack cocaine going through their systems yesterday. The amount of moves. Whoever on Wednesday, when all these can be processed and become, because remember, they didn't sign yesterday. They agreed to sign on Wednesday. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern is when so tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, there's some poor guy in the NFL office who's going to get about 1,000 faxes with all these contracts that they got to file. So I hope you got your coffee ready, NFL folks, because that was day one, and there's more coming today.
Come on, it's the NFL. We know it's not coffee; it's Adderall.
Yeah. Good morning, Nicholas. Yeah, I almost need. There we go. I almost need a nap after reading that list of so many moves yesterday. The Bears, of course, trying to be three-peat the offseason champ flag. I'm happy with the O-line now. I'm happy that actually what got me with the Bears was, we all knew the Bears were going to go after offensive line. I mean, that was a given, right? They made the trade. Like we said yesterday, conventional wisdom was dominant for once. Fans can rejoice because the guy that the fans all wanted, this happened twice this year. We want Ben Johnson. They got it. We want Chris Dahlman. They got it. Not only, though, did we get that third offensive lineman, so now we have 3 new offensive linemen. Then we got the edge. Maybe not the edge we were thinking of, but we got an edge guy. And then a defensive tackle, which was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect the Bears to sign one yesterday. So there were some prizes. I mean, I think there's going to be some more today because there's still some.
There's might be one today because I'm hearing rumors that Rodgers is close to getting a deal done with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
So, then you had QB watch yesterday. Darnold's the first guy off the board, goes to become a sea chicken. Probably a good move for him, as Sarah said before she had to go make her phone call or take her phone call. And then Justin Fields to the Jets, probably a good situation for him. And it's like, okay, so now where's Rodgers gonna go? And so that's going to be a little bit. That's going to be the thing today. Where's Rodgers? And look, he's not the only one. You've got Russ is still out there, right? You've got Joey Bosa still out there. So I mean, Danny Dimes going to the Colts is a little interesting this morning. Quentin Bell went back to the Dolphins. I said that one already. Denver made some big.
Does that make you wonder if the league views Danny Dimes ahead of Russell Wilson?
And
that's a serious question.
No, I mean, look at the kid. He's a young kid with upside. I understand him battling out with Richardson. It kind of shows you how jacked they are, or how jacked up they are. There we go. Let's make that correct. Like we've been saying about with the combine, like they overspent on Richardson. They got fools golded at combine. So now you've got 2 young guys who have some decent upside, who are not bad, terrible, not horrendously terrible NFL quarterbacks. They're going to battle it out. Look at the bigger news is now who's the backup quarterback, or who is the quarterback if J.J. McCarthy can't start the year in Minnesota? So hurry off that phone call, Sarah. We need answers. Who are they going to sign in Minnesota now that they let Danny Dimes out the building?
Which I think was a stupid move for them.
I mean, there are some teams like Washington. Like they look at Washington overachieved last year, right? Yep. Hey, phone, laptop, TV, we got you covered any way you want to watch it. Washington made some big moves to try to say, "Whoa, we went to the NFC Championship. We're close." I think they were an overachieving team last year to begin with. I mean, now they're trying to say, "Okay, well, we overachieved. Let's keep it going." Right? They're trying to keep it going. I can respect that, but they overachieved last year.
But that was exactly what, if you remember I think it was last week, that's exactly what I was saying that they should do. Like they overachieved that they should continue to add to the team. I actually said they should trade for Jair Alexander and just continue to add pieces because you're close. Like you overachieved, yeah, but like you can, I believe you can make it sustainable if you just, add some key pieces. Like you got to fix your offensive line, like get it a little bit better, I think. And then defensively, you need another corner. Like they just lost their safety, so they're going to need another safety.
Pieces, but they made some big moves up in the trenches. And Mike, we know they plan on starting McCarthy, but if you listen to what I said is, what if McCarthy can't go week 1? What's the plan in Minnesota? McCarthy, they're saying, he's going to go week 1 and it did come out that he had a second procedure done on the knee. What if he can't go, or what if he gets hurt? What's their backup plan? That's what we're asking. Well, Trump is watching us right now. Come on. We know he's watching us every month. We're must-see TV. I don't know how much they're overspending, but Dahlman was actually, you know what's funny? Yeah, Rip it. He's not on the roster right now, I don't think. Funny thing about Dahlman, did you guys hear this news? There's a couple, two players I heard this about. Godwin and my new center. Morning, Chad. So Dahlman and Godwin both left money on the table to sign their respective contracts. Yeah, there you go, Dorn. The news came out that Godwin left $20 million on the table with another team. He could have made $20 million more than what he signed for to stay in Tampa. That was interesting. But I'm like, I can see that hometown discount, not quite the kind of a Kerry Wood thing. Like, remember when the Yankees offered him $5 million, he went to the Cubs for $1 million because he wanted to go back to Chicago. That kind of stuff does happen. Chad, we don't know yet that's going to be going. People are still too busy spending money. And then it was reported that Chris Dahlman was actually offered substantially more money to go to other teams, because you break down Dahlman's contract, and this is going to, Jay's saying the Bears are overspending. Dude, they got him for under $20 million a year. Everyone thought Dahlman was going to go for 20 plus a year, and his average breaks out to $17 million a year. So Dahlman actually was cheaper than expected. That's what I thought when I saw that contract. I was like, whoa, I was expecting 3 years, $60 million or more. And it was less.
One of the big shockers was Kansas City. They went out and spent, I think it's like something like $25 million on the left tackle, and he's not even any good.
Yeah, a guy who's never even started, right? He wasn't even a starter.
He's not even any good, and they spent $25 million a year on a left tackle.
John, really? Holy crap. Did you guys know taxes are cheaper in the state in which I live?
It's almost like we had freaking IRS 101 and tax accounting 101 last season.
Yeah, like spent a whole day with Isaac having his moment in the sunshine when he got to flex that IRS knowledge on the job tax. There are no state income. There is no personal state income tax in Florida. However, John, they still pay the job tax. But and players get paid how? Game check. But yeah, taxes are less. But still, I mean, players leaving money on the table to go to play for certain coaches or stay with certain teams. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not surprised, because Tampa just seems to is one of those cities where guys do that. They have that culture there. But like Dahlman to take less money to come to Chicago, I mean, look I'm from Chicago and I don't want to move back there. Okay, not just because of the winters, but because of a lot of other things, taxes, crime, you name it. And where he's going to live, he's probably going to live in Lake County, so cheaper taxes. Got it, but the state itself is a dumpster right now. So I mean, it's interesting that he took less money to go to the Bears, and I'm sure there are other players who took less money to sign their contract yesterday, right? To go play for a certain coach or to play with a certain teammate. It's kind of like strange because everyone's thinking they're just trying to get the bag, and some guys did that. They just got the bag yesterday, like Kansas City giving a guy the bag for $25 million, and he sucked.
Yeah, like all the Raiders free agents. went and got the bag. Merrick got 51 million from the Panthers. Hobbs got 48 million from the Packers.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears are getting Jamar Chase, Chad. I don't see that happening. And I think they should go to Arlington. But yeah, there were some overspends yesterday. I mean, looking for the numbers, I was like, yeah, there were some overspends there. I think there were some overspends. I think fans will react a certain way because we have a guy if they lose our team, like, okay, Larry Borum, got paid to go to Miami. And Bears fans are, oh, good riddance, they overpaid. They'll probably be okay for him. Like, most of these guys maybe not earning the full value of the contract they signed, but they'll be good enough where it won't be like, oh my God, we wasted all this money on a guy. The $25 million on a guy who was never a starter. I don't know what Kansas City was thinking.
I'm bummed about Hobbs leaving. Hobbs was one of my favorite Raiders, even though he wasn't his numbers weren't eye popping. He's probably one of the best slot corners in the league. But I heard that Green Bay is going to put him outside, and I would just caution against that.
We're going to be using him as more like a cover 3 type of corner, like how he played his rookie season there. Mm. So with that, I'm okay with. I don't know about the perimeter type of stuff because I haven't looked into him enough.
He gets torched on the perimeter, but he's an excellent tackler, and he's a good hype man for your team, like for morale. He's a guy that all the guys liked. He's we called him Hype Man Hobbs.
Him and McKinney sound like they'll make a good pairing then.
They're still at Rasul Douglas is still out there at corner. Cam Robinson's still out there at tackle. Joey Bosa is still out there at edge. Did Javon Holland get? Yeah, Javon Holland did get signed after that. There are still some good free agents out there today, and like Bears fan. I mean, let me get.
Did you say Javon Holland is still out there?
Did I? No, he got signed.
He got picked up by the Patriots.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Fries went. Nope. Yeah, Fields is starting at the Jets, which made Chad's brother happy. Chad obviously got in here late. Chad, I spent the first almost 15 minutes reading the full, not the full list, but the highlights of who went where yesterday.
Oh wait, no, I was thinking of the other Holland. That's the one that went to the Patriots, the former Bills receiver. It's the Giants that Javon Holland went to.
What country are you in right now, Luca, that we're 12 hours behind you? He's Lucan is traveling, I'm telling
you. Green Bay just signed the best offensive guard in free agency.
Oh, yeah, really? Who?
The guy from the 49ers. And that's not my words of it. That's NFL's words of it.
They're all the best linebacker in free agency when you sign them. Because they say that about the best center in free agency just went to Chicago. So does that make him the best lineman? He was rated higher on the free agency board. Maybe it does. I don't know.
If you listen to what I said, the best guard. Not best lineman, best guard.
Well, that's because the best guard hit free agency. He just got traded to Chicago. Anywho.
See, and that one you heard from a Chicago website where I heard mine.
No. But the funnier thing is, look, there's some Bears fans Kevin Jenkins is still out there. Keenan is still out there. There are still some good players that didn't get picked up yesterday.
I thought, I could have swore Trent Williams was a left tackle, not a guard.
I mean, so the question is going to be who's going to go where today? Because there's still some good reads out there. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the talk of the town, right? And, there's he's going to stay. He's going to go to the Giants. Oh, he's going to go to Pittsburgh. Oh, he's going to go, God, can he just retire already? I don't know. Greenlaw going to Denver was pretty big for defense today. There's some really good people still
The
out
Patriots
there. So
got some really good players too, but they spent
they
money
did.
like it was. They spent money like it was, the thing to do.
Well, when you had the most money available, you might as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they overpaid a few guys, but like if you look at what they were able to get, I mean, they should be much improved. Dude, they got Harold Landry, they got a bunch of guys. They added to their offensive line.
Oh yeah, the Patriots have taken a major step forward, at least on paper.
On paper, exactly.
I mean, look, I think you can. Here's what I can say about the Bears. The Bears addressed their needs, and that's about all I'll say about the Bears. I'm not going to say they killed it. I'm just going to say they addressed their needs, right? Because they still got to play. I think the teams that swung big yesterday were Washington, New England. They swung big. Those two teams probably swung the hardest in terms of money spent and big trade and spend. I think a lot of teams added at least one guy who's going to really improve their team. Then there are a couple teams that just did nothing. That really just didn't do much of anything to make you go, okay, did they address their needs or did they solidify something? They just kind of sat back and like maybe they're just like content going to the draft because maybe the way they're restructuring. I was surprised at how much money the Saints spent yesterday, considering they have none. I was surprised on how much money San Francisco did yesterday. I mean, the Saints restructured a bunch of deals yesterday, but still, you have no money. I'm surprised at some of the stuff that happened. Financially, Quezzy was out there signing people. Like, dude, where are you finding your money?
The Vikings had a decent clip of money.
They had a decent, but I swear, I almost felt like Quezzy was had a shopping cart out yesterday. They didn't do a lot, but they did enough, right? Look, I think 3 of the 4 teams in the North got better yesterday, and the one that didn't, Detroit. I don't think Detroit really did much to get better. They didn't lose much, but they didn't gain much. They
lost Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis was a big piece of their defense.
Well, and Melifanu, they lost him, but then they signed a guy, right? So that was a little ticky for tack. That's what I mean. They did tick for tack, right? The Packers did a little what they needed to do in terms of the O-line. That's good. The Bears addressed their trenches. I'm happy I didn't see them go out and spend big money on a tight end or a running back or something like that. I would not have been surprised to see us maybe get a linebacker or a safety or something like that. But they stayed in the trenches. Some of the quarterback moves were interesting. Like I'd never had Fields going to the Jets. That was not on my bingo card. It makes sense. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. It kind of makes some sense. But I didn't have Ginger Jesus going to the Seahawks either.
That one I didn't see myself.
That one actually I didn't know, but it was talked about as soon as the Raiders traded for Geno. Like on the Seahawks fan page on Reddit, there was already a lot of speculation. Like they were like, oh, so I guess they already got the contract worked out with Darnold. Like there was a lot of confidence on the Seahawks page that they were going to get Darnold. So when it happened, I wasn't terribly shocked. I was like, oh, I guess they were tampering. Like,
Actually, a phone call that's probably for her, employment to actually make some money.
I was actually, the Raiders pissed me off.
Oh, hold on. Let me go back to Sarah real quick to pop back on because we had a question for Sarah, and I don't want to lose it. Sarah, if JJ can't go week 1, what's the plan in Minnesota at quarterback?
He can. He's ready.
What if? What if he gets hurt? Okay, fine, he's ready. But what if he gets hurt? They still got to play the preseason. Or what if he hurts or whatever? What's the plan in Minnesota after letting Danny Dimes out the building?
There's still other free agents that we can sign. There's Mac Jones.
Oh yeah, Mac Jones.
Well, I mean, It's not like he's going to be starting. You just need a placeholder. So
Yeah, but Sarah, I say this to you in all due respect.
I
You
mean,
guys
I
said
don't.
that, you said that last year. They all, well, maybe not you, but Vikings fans. Oh, JJ's going to start. And last game of the preseason, well, JJ's not going to start torn ACL. So the Vikings, if any team out there, should be like, this is why you have a good backup. I think you guys proved it last year. I mean, I hope that JJ's healthy for you, but right now it seems like the Vikings have no plan for that backup quarterback position. And of all teams, I would think they would after what happened last year.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of like for you to say that they don't have a backup plan. I mean, I don't know, do they or don't they? I mean, there's guys out there that they can go out and sign. So just because they haven't signed one doesn't mean they don't have a plan.
KOC is the starting quarterback, and McCarthy's unavailable. Oh, that's great. I mean, and I don't think they would have had to break. Well, yeah, let Darnold go. That I mean, we debated that for a bit. But I think they, I don't know. I think they need to still have a good veteran backup quarterback there. I don't know if there's one out there right now. Winston, he's still out there.
No, I don't want him.
Minshew, interesting.
He's serviceable.
He is serviceable.
That's
Let
what
me
Joe
tell you.
thought.
Let me tell you.
He was in Sin City. Come on, we're talking about Minneapolis, St. Paul here. It's completely different than Vegas.
He doesn't have to worry about going out and hunting milfs there. Too many meth head mollies out.
And the Parkers are too big for him to see what's underneath. So, he'll probably stay in the van down by the river. But yeah, I mean,
you better get a space heater in that bitch.
but no, I mean, and Sarah, I'm not saying they don't have a plan. I'm just saying, with all the stuff, I would have figured though that would have been one of the priorities for the Vikings to sign a good veteran quarterback as a backup yesterday. Or maybe they're just waiting to see where the chips fall for these guys go be starters. But then a couple of these guys, like there were some contracts where guys are definitely going to be backups yesterday. So I mean, I like what Kwesi did for them yesterday. I think he hit his mark. Carson Wentz, did he officially retire? I don't know. I mean, they could go old guy, right? Breathe to death in his van. It's just kind of like it was weird because like I said, a lot of teams it seemed like the Bears, they hit their needs. I think Minnesota kind of hit some of their needs yesterday, but one of their needs I thought was a backup quarterback. And I thought to say they're not going to get one still. Flacco is still out there, as Bear Down Mike just points out. But I found it interesting. Maybe they're taking more of the wait and see approach.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are because I think they knew that Danny Dimes was a free agent, so they were waiting to see if he was going to sign or if he was going to go elsewhere. And like I said, I don't think that's like as high of a priority as all the other signings they did, because then there are serviceable quarterbacks out there that they can sign. And when you sign a backup, you're expecting them to like just come in for a game or two. You're not expecting them to play the whole season.
Oh God, Dorn. Oh Jesus.
I actually like Flacco to Minnesota. I think he would be a good mentor for JJ, and he can come in a pinch and win you a couple games. I think Flacco would be a cheap option that knows he's going to be a backup. And
so the thing with Minnesota is, though, I mean, look, there's an interesting thing that's like Russ could be available to them relatively cheap.
Hell no, I do not want Russ.
If he doesn't do the contract, I'm just saying there, but I mean that's part of that wait and see approach, right?
I do not want Mr.
Hold on, there before you jump all over it. Let me finish it out for you. Roger signs his deal. What did all the starters get signed? Russ is still there. that's going to drive the prices down on some of these other backups that they may be looking at. Because if Russ is still there, in a way, it's like it almost devalues everyone else at that point, right? So that might make it cheaper for Minnesota. That's where I was going with that there. Not that you would sign Russ, but if Russ was cheap enough, Quezzy's crazy enough, he might possibly do it. But I'm just saying, if Russ doesn't get a deal, I think he makes the other backups cheaper, right? Because now if Russ is going to be a backup somewhere, what does that make Winston money-wise? Cheaper. I'm just saying that's one way of looking at it. Billy, as far as the Bears, I don't know how much more he's got to spend. And the sad thing is, Spotrac is not going to update until probably Thursday. Let me check real quick. I don't think Spotrac updates on the agreed to, because obviously they're not deals. So the free agent money is still going to read the same today as it did yesterday when you're looking at your team. But the Bears right now, I bet it's going to say they have like 60-some million. Oh no, the Cat one. Now they're saying they have 37 million, but that doesn't. They don't obviously have all the stuff they did yesterday. So I don't know how much money the Bears really have right now. That should have been over the cap.
Vikings country, let's blow.
No.
Get the horn ready. Get the horn ready. Russ is going to come in a Viking helmet with horns.
We are not
I
right.
mean, but where is Russ going to go?
Russ would be the whitest quarterback in Vikings history. Considering you just got rid of Sam Darnold, that's even funnier.
Yeah, according to Over the Cap, the Bears still have 42.4 million. But now they have 59 in the roster. It doesn't have the new signings obviously yet. So I couldn't tell you how much the Bears really, really have. They could restructure some contracts, like Edmonds, stuff like that. But I don't know how much money the Bears have. That's the hard part about this. There's a good website we can go to that shows how much our team still. Did the Packers get a wide receiver? No.
They got a guard.
Yep. Hey, we got a damn good guard. Seems to be a pretty decent cornerback. Not as I wanted to make, but I'm still happy with it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
He was just.
I don't want to be Bears fans though. I already saw this yesterday, and I just went, "Oh, stop saying the Bears are now a top 10 offensive line because of the moves they've made. They picked up.
Just stop.
Just stop.
Every year, you
Yes.
guys are always off
Stop.
the chance. Let
Look.
it play out first.
Look, just stop, guys. Look, did they make some good moves? Yes. Tooney at left guard, good move. Dahlman at center, apparently good move. I hope he stays healthy for us. That was my concern. The guy we trade for to be our right guard, okay, great, better. I like Braxton still. I think he's better now because of playing next to Tooney. Yeah, we've got, I'd say, a much better offensive line than we had at the end of last year. However, stop saying top 10 this, top 10 that. No, there's no depth on this offensive line. They did not re-sign they didn't sign any other offensive linemen who are good, capable backups. In fact, if anything, we let Borum out the door. As for as crappy as Borum was as a starter, he was a good depth rotation guy. When he was a depth guy, just rotate in for a series here and there, his numbers were phenomenal. He was good. Borum's just not a guy you want starting. We have no depth in Chicago. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Now look it. Are there still some guys out there that we could re-sign or sign for that would make me happier in that regard? For sure. But stop saying that the Bears now have a top 10 offensive line because it has zero depth to it. Zero. Green Bay's depth. A little bit better. The Vikings' depth. About the same. our offensive lines in the North, while they may be improved overall, have very little depth to them right now. The Bears are the worst in that category, I think. The Lions are probably the best, and they proved it last year in that category right now. There needs to be more depth, and I think that's where we might see some of these signings today, like some of these depth guys. So, yes, I hope the Bears do spend some money and re-sign a certain right guard that was a good depth piece last year. And I think we'll see some of those signings today, and I think some of our teams need to really hit that offensively and defensively. Yeah, great initial moves. Stop saying they're top 10. If you don't have depth, you're not top 10. I'm sorry. Your starters may be. Okay, I'll grant you that. You might be able to say that. Maybe after they've played a couple games and they prove it, but you have no depth. And with the Bears, we just signed a center who has not the best injury history over the last 2 years, right? So stop saying that, Bears fan. I don't want to hear it anymore. And I'm a Bears fan. I don't want to hear it.
I was very disappointed with the Raiders letting all their defensive free agents out of the building. But when I looked at their moves, I get what they were doing. I don't get what they were doing at linebacker because now we have nothing but backups. So hopefully they're going to be drafting a guy. But if you look at the Chin signing, for example, right? Merrick just went and made $51 million with the Panthers. We got Jeremy Chin, and his production is pretty much equal to Merrick's, and we got him for I think it was $17 million for 2 years, right? So we got him. We got the same production for half the price. Then they got Kuntz, right? They re-signed Kuntz, and they got him for 1 year, $12 million. So it's a prove-it deal. Everybody was talking about he was going to get $20 million per season, blah, blah, blah. So I like the move. I wanted him back, but, I didn't want to pay him $20+ million a year. So now he gets a prove-it deal. I like that. If he earns it this year, then he's going to get a bag either with us or with somebody else. But in the meantime, we'll finally, hopefully, get to see that defensive line that I've been waiting to see since last season with Wilkins and Crosby and Kuntz and Butler. It's going to be a nasty defensive line, dude. The problem is now we have no outside linebacker because we let Diablo go. And then Spillane got paid. He went to New England and got paid. But if you look at, we signed Landon Roberts from the Steelers for $3 million. We did the same thing that we did with Spillane. Spillane came to us on a cheap deal and balled out and then went and got paid. And so Roberts, from what I was reading on the Steelers fan page, they were sad to see him go. They actually really liked him.
I like to see the Bears today re-sign Matt Pryor, which I'm surprised he didn't get any looks yesterday. Played 88.6% of the snaps in Chicago last year. PFF grade was very good for a guy who wasn't supposed to be a starter, and he only cost us 1.2 mil last year at that. I think the Bears if they sign him for $3 or $4 mil. I'd like to see that today. I like to see what happens with Tevin Jenkins and Coleman Shelton, to be honest with you. Shelton is now the highest rated center still out there. There was some scuttlebutt. He might end up in LA with the Rams. Keenan Allen's still out there. I mean, for me, the important signing today would be Matt Pryor for the Bears. That's the signing I want to see. And yeah, John, I know it updates on Wednesday or Thursday when these become official. I wish there was a tool that we as fans had to kind of track what kind of money the teams have left. But then again, we don't know how these deals are structured for the actual cap hit, right? Because player X signed a $72 million deal over 3 years. Okay, but we don't know how much that's going to hit the cap this year, next year, the year after. How much of it doesn't hit the cap at all? Which I go back to Mike the Bear fan who thinks a dollar spent should be a dollar against, but that's not the way it happens, right? The guy signs a $72 million contract, and only $40 million of it somehow affects the cap at all. So, but Jack Sanborn is still out there. The only Bear for Bears fans out there, only Bear yesterday that got signed away from the Bears yesterday was Larry Borom. That's it. The only one. So if you still got a guy that you want us to be signed, it could still happen. Yeah, Mekhi Becton's still out there. I was surprised. I like to see maybe the Bears take a run at him and what he's going to cost. I don't think he's going to cost that much. If he goes to the Vikings, man, I hate to see that, to be honest with you.
No, he can't go to the Vikings because he doesn't get along with the new O-line coach we hired.
Oh, I hope you're right there. I hope he goes. I mean, Mekhi Becton's actually pretty good. A lot of you guys left the Eagles yesterday, man. They're cashing out on those Super Bowl checks, right? So, but Mekhi Becton is the guy who's been kind of flying under the radar. I'd love to see him in Chicago.
I'd like to see. I think Keenan Allen should go back to Chicago.
Like Tevin Jenkins, I take him as a backup. I think any team would take Tevin Jenkins as a backup. He's good as a starter if he stays healthy. As a backup, odds are he's going to be healthy, right? Not less opportunity to get hurt. I think anyone on this panel would take Tevin Jenkins to be in a backup role on their offensive line.
Yeah, depending on the price. Yeah, I think Keenan Allen should go back to the Bears though, because they actually worked on their offensive line. It's like now you have an opportunity to do what you expected to do last year.
So I guess here's my loaded question for the day. How good is the NFC North coming into this next season compared to last year? Is this going to be, based off what we've seen so far in the offseason, is the NFC North going to be the power division in the NFC again this year?
No.
I was going to say hopefully not, because it didn't work out well for this whole division last year.
No, one and done in the playoffs, right?
I don't think so. I think the Lions will take a step back because all their coaching staff got poached, and they're losing some players. The Vikings, they're going to be starting JJ. I don't expect them to win 14 games. The Bears will be, I expect, better. They could be in that 9 to 10 win range if everything works out for them. And then the Packers, I expect them to be around 10, 11 wins too.
I think this division's dog race in all 4 teams. I agree with a lot of what you said there. I think the Lions will be interesting with the coaching changes, especially if they're changing any scheme changes. They're a big question mark right now. The Bears are trending up. The Packers are kind of in the same place, really. They lost some, they gained some. I think they're a little bit better. They got better in some areas and worse in others. So I don't want to say they're treading water, but I want to say maybe they got a little bit better. The Vikings, I think, got better overall, but the question mark is what it was last year. The quarterback, their defense is still going to be really good. Their line is better equipped to protect JJ or whoever it is back there. But they still they kept the big pieces they need to keep. They're going to be in the hunt. I don't want to say it's a 3-dog race and the Lions are on the outside looking in after they won the division last year, but this is going to be a dog division next year. It's going to be interesting. And I think that, going to your division, I think the AFC West is going to be a dog division too. All 4 teams are in a pretty decent position. The Raiders, I think, I still have to see a little bit more of what they're going to do, but they quarterback. I don't know how much faith I have in the Geno Smith trade.
I think they're automatically better than 4 wins today.
I think you're right there.
I think with Geno, that gets them up at least to 7 wins, and then depending on what we do, we'll see. There's definitely some question marks. Now we have some holes that we didn't have before.
It's funny how yesterday was such a flurry of activity, and now today is. You know what it's going to be, because there's been nothing in the last hour to keep it on. But I bet in about an hour we're going to get a flurry. That's the way it always works. You never get to break anything more. I like this. There's some more. I mean, we got today's gonna be that last day of tampering. I mean, but if you're a player like Keenan Allen and you don't get signed, or it doesn't get announced today, I'm sure tomorrow we'll get a bunch too. But what does that do to his value in terms of the amount of the contract? Because yesterday was the guy. Look, yesterday were the guys that people really wanted, right? So you're sitting there, you're still a free agent today, and you weren't the guys that they were trying to poach in the tampering period. You would have to figure that the price tags start going down from this point forward, right? So if you're a guy like Keenan Allen, what happened? I mean, really tampering day, and you didn't get a deal? What's going through his head today? You know what I mean? There's some of these guys like that are still out there, and like tampering period happened, they got nothing. Mekhi Becton got nothing. He should have.
How about Russ? How do you think Russ feels right now?
I mean, Aaron,
He's probably sitting there, Danny fucking Dimes over me.
But you know what though? I think Russ is kind of like he's in a different category. He's in I get whatever sloppy seconds or leftovers that Aaron Rodgers doesn't pick.
Oh my God! The sad thing is, it's the second time in his career it's happened.
If Rodgers doesn't go to Pittsburgh, then Russ stays in Pittsburgh. If Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, then Russ is going to whoever lost to the Giants. I really think that's what that situation is going to bear out to. Whichever team Rodgers doesn't go to is where Russ is going to go. Well, I mean, then for obvious reasons, you say, well, duh, Ken. I mean, they're not going to go the same. But I think that's a situation. It's like there are two or three teams out there waiting to see, okay, is Rodgers going to come here? And plan B for all of them is Russ.
I think the Colts should trade Richardson.
Oh, yeah. I think
For what? A bag of chips?
Yeah, I was saying, who's going to give him anything for Richardson? They overpaid for him in the first round.
Because it's like, I don't know, you don't pay $15 million to a quarterback to sit on the bench.
Well, look how much they're paying in Atlanta for a backup quarterback right now.
Well, that's just their own stupidity that they're having to deal with.
But I mean, that's the same thing with Indianapolis. Their own stupidity for drafting him at, what, 15?
No, he was top 4.
Was he that high up?
Yeah, he went like number 4.
Number 4, yeah, that's their own stupidity there. I mean, now you're bringing in Danny Dimes to compete. That should tell you a lot about where Indianapolis is. But I mean, so today, hopefully tomorrow we'll have an Aaron Rodgers thing to talk about. I think by Thursday we definitely will. Maybe they're waiting till Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe we'll have Russell Wilson. Maybe we'll find a backup quarterback in Minnesota. Maybe we'll see some good depth today. There's some like Keenan Allen. Where's he going to go? You know, where's my boy Matt Pryor going? You know, is Coleman Shelton going to be in LA? So there's some good questions for us to watch the tracker on today. Hopefully we can talk about this on that tomorrow. But man, there was so much yesterday. We barely got to scratch the surface of it today. So we'll obviously be able to continue that. Big moves across the board. I think NFC North overall got better. There are a couple teams I'm scratching my head. I'm wondering what's going on down there in Houston as well with some of the moves they made. They got better, but they got worse. Here we go, folks. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. We got secret agent, man. So keep it tuned here. It's Tuesday, so nothing else from us today, but we'll be back here tomorrow morning. We've got a Hallis Hall report tomorrow night. Everyone have a safe Tuesday. Keep watching those trackers because something else is going to break today. We'll see you all tomorrow because I'm going to get out of here before Ken shoots me for going 10 seconds over. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Sarah. A lot to go today. We'll get more tomorrow. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace. Bear down. Go ahead and say it. Okay, fine. Packers suck, John Doe.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MM Eniacs. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report. Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, the Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, the Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails. NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions.